I had a weird dream last night that I want to tell you about that may have led into this video or vice versa. But before I tell you about that, I just wanted to ask, do you remember Brazil like this? Sort of smaller, maybe even a little bit smaller than this? Or do you remember it like this? Just gigantic, taking over the entire continent, stretching way out, and looks like it's taking bites out of other countries and things like that. Argentina's super long. I don't remember this. I remember Brazil being very small, much smaller than this. Um, Closer to the size of the other countries. So I didn't remember Brazil being like practically as large as the US or whatever it is right now, taking over all of South America. I think I would have remembered if Brazil was basically almost all of South America. But this is how I remember it. Smaller. I don't know. I didn't study maps of South America, so I'm asking the question, could you vote up or down like the other guy does? And tell me in the comments if you remember Brazil being smaller or not, or giant like, most of South America. I recall it being smaller. So how I came to this video is very weird. I was having a dream last night, and it was a dream, really awesome, vivid dream, where I was in India. I thought I was in India, and which also relates to this video, weirdly enough, but I started looking at the maps on my phone and I started realizing I'm not in India. I'm visiting Brazil right now. Holy crap, like what's going on? And I was like, but doesn't Brazil have beaches? But I couldn't get to the beach, and I was studying the map and I was like, you know what? There's this long only one little section now that Brazil touches the beach. So there's like this one little tiny section, and the whole rest of it, which I have actually outlined in black here, was a no country owned this section that I have outlined in black, basically. And it was considered like, I was just like, what is that? Just like a big sandbar? Like, I couldn't understand the iPhone. I was looking at my map, you know, in my dream at my phone, and I was like, what is this extra land? Like, what is that? And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not in India, I'm in Brazil, but only this little section here in the red circle in my dream was able to access the beach, and everything else it was like this extra land. So once I woke up, I was kind of obsessed. I said, I want to look at Brazil. I'm going to look up India. Like, what the heck is going on here? And I thought, whoa, was Brazil that big? Like, I don't remember that. And I've been having some really crazy personal Mandela effects that I'm not going to get into right now. But I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off this extra land mass that in my dream was just like an extra sandbar that no extra country owned, and just try to see if I can enlarge the other countries just a little bit. And boom, Brazil started looking like the size I remember it, which I still even think the way that I have it is a little bit large to my memory, but you can tell me what you think. And then the other crazy part was I looked up India and I had like a huge shock, because less than a year ago I was just staring at maps of the Maldives and Sri Lanka and everything, and Sri Lanka, I recall distinctly, was just under the tip of India. It wasn't on the right side of India. Right here is where it is at right now. Now it's just in a totally different location, and it's also tilted differently. And the Maldives weren't down south like that, way down south. They were up north, more like in the crook of India, more in just off the coast of India, like in the ocean there, the Indian Ocean. And I wasn't, I was like, am I going crazy? I looked up online and I found another person who said yes, they also remember the Sri Lanka was down south at the tip of India, not up there on the right hand side of India. So just gonna give a shout out to that person and also let them know that I made this video. And yes, I correlate with that. I totally remember Sri Lanka being in a different area. So the weirdest part about it in the end to me was that I had a dream about India, thought I was in India, and then Brazil. And when I looked them up, I found what looked like Mandela effects to me in both those countries, but I didn't, before the dream, I had no idea that there would be a Mandela effect there for me. So it almost became like a question of which came first, chicken or the egg, for me. did I psychically dream about 2 Mandela effects that I was about to find today and make this video on it? In other words, the Mandela effects, did they create my dream? Did the Mandela effect come first and create a dream for me, a psychic dream? Or did my dream create the Mandela effects so that my dream came first and then everything looked suddenly changed to me? Or is it just totally unrelated and it was just, there's so many frackin' Mandela effects out there now that I just happened to have this really vivid, amazing dream with the maps and everything, and the extra sandbars on Brazil, and the land that no country owned, and thinking I was in India but I wasn't, and blah blah blah. Was that just a coincidence? And there's just so many Mandela effects out there now that when I looked up those things, that it looks like there's a Mandela effect in both of those locations to me that were in my dream. I don't know. I don't know anything right now. The places I've been looking at to rent, both of them changed on me. Both of them changed on me in major ways. So that was really amazing when I went back the second time to look at them. And yeah, this is an ending for me. So I don't know what the heck's going on. If you could just vote and let me know what you think about the size of Brazil, I would really appreciate it. I'm less clear on that one, although Brazil, like, it just looks giant to me, way too big. I remember it being very, like, half that size, maybe even smaller. And I didn't think Argentina was quite so long. But Sri Lanka, I'm basically very certain about that one because I was planning and plotting trips around that area, even like boat rides between Sri Lanka and India, carrying cows I rescue back and forth and things like that. So yeah, that one in my reality, Sri Lanka has changed. I'd appreciate your votes on Brazil. Thank you so much. Bye.